Hello students, in today's session we will take one more problem on slope deflection method. Earlier we have finished two problems regarding same topic. We have solved one simply supported beam having a concentrated load at its center. And second problem we have solved in which the two concentrated load were there, and we have those concentrated load at distance 2.5 and 5 meter from the one of the support. Okay, now in today's session we will discuss problem. It is again a simply supported beam, but you can see in the diagram in the background. Yes, you can see over here the beam is experiencing or applied uniformly distributed load. Across the span of your beam, we have applied uniformly distributed load, right? As well as we have 210 kilonewton concentrated load and 125 kilonewton concentrated load acting at a distance of 2 meter and 3 meter from A and B support respectively, right? So this is what the description of our beam. Now let's discuss what they have asked us to solve or what we're gonna analyze in this problem. Okay, so you can see here on the screen, yes, a simply supported beam of a span 9 meter coupling 2-point load 210 and 125 kilonewton at 2 meter and 6 meter. Now from that is from left support, the self weight of a beam is 26 kilonewton per meter. Determine slope at 4 meter and deflection at the center and maximum deflection as well. So EI is constant. Okay, now how to solve this problem? We will see first of all what are the steps for the Macaulay's method or slope deflection method. Okay, in which very first step is to calculate or to analyze the reactions of your given beam, right? In the second steps you will do, in the second step you will form a moment equation and you will equate it with d square y ei into d square y by dx square, right? That was your second step. In the third and fourth step you integrate it twice. Okay, you 2 times integrate your given equation. Then you in the next step you apply a boundary conditions and try to analyze, try to calculate the constant values, right? C1 and C2. What are those constants? Those were the integration constant. When we integrate our slope deflection equation, we come across constant, and to calculate the constant values you apply a boundary conditions. Next step is writing the general equations after putting or after substituting the values of constants. Next is last step will be adding your boundary conditions or adding your condition. Where does they ask you a slope, where does they ask you a deflection, put that values in the general equations, add those conditions where x will be 2, 4 according to your problem, right? And once you put that values you will able to calculate deflection as well as slope, right? That was the flow. So today we will start with first step, reaction calculation. So see here, this is your beam and you have two reactions RA and RB over here. Okay, now how to calculate RA and RB? You know, take a help of equilibrium equations. Equilibrium equations available with us, which are those: summation Fy equals to 0, summation of moment at particular point equals to 0, and summation of Fx, all the horizontal forces, will be equals to 0. So I am taking help of summation of Fy. What does summation Fy means to us? Adding up the all vertical forces. It may be vertically downward in direction or vertically upward in direction. You have to summarize all those forces and equate it to 0. Okay. So see here, RA plus RB minus 210 minus 26 into 9 into 125. Okay, if you want to see it, see here in the figure, RA, okay, RA plus RB minus 210 minus, why minus? Because it is acting vertically downward, right? Therefore negative 210 minus 26 into total span. Why I have done this? Because see, whenever you are supposed to take a uniformly distributed load, you first of all convert it into the point load. How you will convert that? Force into how long it is span. A uniformly distributed load always comes with a unit kilonewton per meter. See here, it always comes with the unit kilonewton per meter. So 26 kilonewton per meter. I want it in a kilonewton only. That's why I will multiply with the distance meter. What distance I am multiplying over here? On the span it is applied. The span on which you have applied uniformly distributed load, on that exact span you should take as a distance. That exact span you should take as a distance, and you multiply your load with that distance, you will get a concentrated load instead of uniformly distributed load. Okay, and one here is a small mistake. You can see here, I have given a multiplication sign over it, which is wrong. You should take negative 125. Make a correction over there. Next is calculating your moments. How you will calculate your moments? For moment, you always remember, moment is force into perpendicular distance. How you will calculate force is given to you. See here, I'll take this one. Yes. So see here, your first force is reaction RA. So RA into total distance 9. Why 9? Because I am calculating moment at point B. You can start from the support B and you can calculate at point A also. You can go with either of the way or from either of the support. Okay. So I am taking from the A support and I am calculating moment at B. Next is 210. 210 into perpendicular distance, which is 7. Total distance is 9. 9 minus 2, 7. Okay. Then it is making anti-clockwise movement. That's why I taken negative. Next is minus 26 into 9 into 9 by 2. 26 into 9 into 9 by 2. Okay. Next is 125 into 3. 125 into 3 is equals to 0. What is this 125? The last reaction into perpendicular distance, which is 3 meter. Okay. Now you use your calculator, solve this. Use your calculator, try to solve this. Okay. And you will get RA is equals to 322 kilo Newton. Okay. Now moment equation about section XX. Okay. Here we reached to the second step where we are calculating or we are developing the moment equation. How to develop moment equation you already know. Take a section XX which is covering all the forces on acting upon our B. Okay, where I have taken a section? I have taken a section at support D, towards support D. Actually here the names changed. Earlier I have given support A and B name like this, but now I have given a naming between supports. So yes, slight change over there, please take a note of it. Now here, how we will form the moment equation? RA into, first of all we have to take distance, or first of all we have to take section at point we are calculating moment. Okay, so section I have taken over here, which is covering my all the forces throughout my beam. Okay, now at that distance, at that section, I have taken a distance x. I have taken a distance x. Okay, next is 210 and 125. That distances you have to remember. That distance will be here to here, total x minus 2, x minus 2, and from C to section will be total x minus 2 plus 4, 6. Remember how to take it? Yes. Now I have also mentioned what is the reaction of RA, which is required to develop the moment equation. Okay. Now let's start. Okay, we will do like this. I have started from support A. Support A, 322 is the reaction at support A. 322 into horizontal distance. 322 into x minus, why minus? Because this is first reaction created by a support A is clockwise, that's why taken positive. Now next is your 210 force, concentrated load, which is creating anti-clockwise movement. If it is anti-clockwise, it will be negative 26 into. Now I have not taken a support, but instead of support I have taken a UDL. Okay, so when you take UDL, see here, UDL is acting throughout your span, right? And how to convert your UDL into point load? You can simply here, if it is a UDL, you take that UDL and multiply it with its distance. Okay, so 26 into its distance will convert it into point load. Okay, now where do I place it? I have converted into point load, but can I place it over here, here, here? Where am I placing it? Okay, if it is a point load, it must has its own place. So I have placed it at the exactly center of its applied distance. If it is applied for 9 meter, I will apply it at the center. If it is for 9 meter, I will apply it for center of it. Okay, next is, now let's take for our span. Our span is, total span is, up to the section. Our total span is x. So where I will apply it? At the center of it, x by 2. If it is 9 meter, 4.5 meter, you will apply your concentrated load. So see here, reaction RA into x. Then this uniformly distributed load, first component is over, right? Then negative 26 into x by 2. 26 into x by 2. Okay, if 26 into x by 2 is my UDL, why I have taken x by 2? Because 26 into x is a point load into distance, which I have said at the half, at the center I am going to apply it. Therefore whatever distance remained from the x, if I applied at x by 2, so this side it will be x by 2, this side it will be x by 2, right? Therefore 26 into x, my point load, uniformly distributed load is converted into point load by doing this, into distance, which is x by 2. Okay. Now next is your point load, concentrated load, 210 kilonewton. This 210 kilonewton will be 210 kilonewton into perpendicular distance up to x. How much it will be? X minus 2. X minus 2. That is creating anti-clockwise movement, therefore taken negative. Next is 125. 125 is acting at a distance what? Sorry for the interruption. Yes, we were talking about the x distance for the concentrated load 125. For the concentrated load 125. Okay. The 125 into horizontal distance. What is horizontal distance? Up to the x. That will be total x minus 6. Total x minus 6. So that's how I wrote here. Okay. So here our first equation is developed. Now in the third and fourth step we are supposed to integrate it. We are supposed to integrate it. How many times we will integrate? Twice. First integrate it 322 into x. X will be, integration of x will be x square by 2. Then minus 26 into x square by 2. Already there x square is exist. So x cube divide by 3. For x square you will write x cube divide by 3 and take this 2 dividing to the or in the denominator of 26. Next is 210 into x square by 2. I have said you can integrate for that whole bracket. You should not take x separately and 2 separately. No. You integrate for that whole bracket. Then 125 into x square divide by 2. So this is how we integrated once. Now integration of this d square y by dx square will be slope dy by dx. One more time you integrate it. One more time you integrate it. Integration of dy by dx will be new term, which is y, ei into y. Rest of the terms are integrated. Only the new thing added over here is integration constant. See here. In the earlier equation you have C1. First integration constant C1. Now you are integrating second time. So integration constant C2 is added over here. C1, C2. So C1 into x and C2 will be your integration constant second for integrating. Why you have added that? Because you integrated it twice, right? Rest of the things are known to you. I hope you will able to integrate it twice. I will move directly towards the boundary condition. Apply the boundary conditions. Here, while applying the boundary condition, you must remember the type of supports provided to your beam. It can be simply supported, it can be a cantilever, it can be a free support. Depending upon what type of support system you have provided to your beam, you will apply a boundary conditions accordingly. Okay, so see here, I know my beam is simply supported, right? So first boundary condition will be x equals to 0, y deflection at point is also equals to 0, because support will not allow my beam to sink down or deflect. Next is x will be a distance of L and y will be equals to 0. X travels the whole distance, whole length of your beam, still y will be 0. Y is 0 because again at the length or at this B support also you have a support, you have a column there, and that will not allow my beam to sink down, right? So apply these boundary conditions in equation 3. In equation 3. Now you must be thinking, why equation 3? I have told you before also that equation 3 is provided us for deflection. Okay, it is talking about the deflection. Whatever equation we have developed is for the deflection, and if deflection is there represented with y, so here we are also talking about the deflection. Y is 0 means what? At a distance x, A support, deflection is 0. At support B, when the beams travels total distance length or a total length L, still deflection is 0. So we are talking about deflection. So we should apply this boundary condition to equation number 3. Simple. Apply. Put the first, if you put this boundary conditions, x equals to 0 and y equals to 0. So C2 equals to 0. X equals to 0 and y equals to 0 means what? I have told x at distance 0, y deflection will be 0. If you put this in equation number 3, you will get C2. C2 is the integration constant equals to 0. Apply it. Try to do it on your own. You will get better idea about this. Okay. Now next is x is a 9 now, 9 meter, and y is equals to 0. Y is equals to 0. Apply this in equation number 3. I have shown over here. Y is 0. Y is 0. X is 9. X is 9. X is 9 meter. Yes. Okay. Here I have made a mistake. Small, or you can see here I have wrote 7. You must not think that why there is a 7, because here x minus 2 was in the equation and x is a 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. Similarly, x minus 6 for the concentrated load. 9 minus 6 will be equals to 3 raised to q. Okay. Next is C1 equals to 0. C1 will be equals to 0 because if you solve this equation, C1 is not 0. C1 is equals to 21 or 2160.86, 2160.86. That is the value of a constant, and C2 will be equals to 0. Now put this values, these magnitudes of C1 and C2 into your general equation of slope and deflection. That's what I did. I have added, see here, this is my slope equation, this is my deflection equation. In the slope equation I have added a constant C2 and C1. C1 is 2160.86 and C2 was 0. Therefore you can't see C2 value here, but C1 is, you can see, which is 2160.86. Nothing to do over here, just a substitution of your C1 and C2 into your original equations. Now calculating theta. Now calculating slope and deflection. So they have asked us slope at end support A and slope at end support B also you can calculate. How to calculate slope at end support A? So see here, this is my beam, and in this beam I am calculating slope at A support. It means I have taken a section X and X is 0 at A because X is not yet travelled any distance. Therefore X will be 0, and put the value of X equals to 0 into slope equation, into the slope equation. Where do I have slope equation? Here. This is the equation of slope. Put the X value 0. This will be 0. This will be 0. Okay, you should apply this for the first compartment only. Please make a note of this. You should apply this x equals to 0 for only first compartment. Why? Because for this span A to B, for this span A, x is equals to 0. X is equals to 0. So I am talking about only particular this region. I am not traveled any distance L up to the B, right? Therefore, I am applying and restraining it for the compartment number 1. If I go beyond that, I may traveled x equals to certain distance 2, 3, 4 meter, which I am avoiding. Okay, put the values and get the answer. Theta will be 2160. 2160, because see here in the deflection equation, if x is 0 and I am avoiding all rest of the compartments, what will be my theta? Of course a value of constant, right? You try to solve it. You take your notebook, write down this in your book, because I am here already calculated values. You should play with that equations. You should use those equations. You should put the values into it. You should solve those equations. Then and then only you will get a better idea and it will retain in your mind. Otherwise, it's just an explanation and one-way process. I am telling, you are listening. So don't do that. Please take your notebook, write it down and try to solve it. Next is y. Y is a deflection. Deflection at a center x equals to 4.5. They have said maximum deflection. I am assuming maximum deflection will be occur at a center. At a center means what? X equals to 4.5, because whole span of my beam is 9.5 meter. Okay, this is not maximum deflection. I am just calculating deflection at 4.5 meter. For maximum deflection, you have a different procedure. That I will explain you further. Right now I am calculating deflection at 4.5 meters. So take a equation of deflection and put x equals to 4.5 meter, and you should use that equation. You should use that equation up to what? See here. I hope it is visible to you. Yes, this is your deflection equation. You have used it till here only. Why? Because if you used, see here, I have used till 210 only. I have not taken this part. No, I have not taken this. Why? Because that falls beyond 4.5 meter. That falls beyond 4.5 meter. My beam is like this. Okay, up to the 4.5 there is one point load and some UDL. I am talking about 4.5 meter distance only. I am solving my equation for 4.5 meter distance only. That's why I cannot take the load or equation developed for the rest of the loading. No, restrict your equation up to the 4.5 meter. Similarly, I told you for slope equation also, you restrict your equation up to the first compartment only, because you are talking about x equals to 0 distance only. You are not talking or solving for the x for 9 meter, 3 meter. No, you are talking about x equals to 0 only. Similarly, if they ask you slope at support B, then x will be how much? 9 meter, and that time you should use a total equation of your slope. Complete equation of your slope you should use, because you are now talking about the total 9 meter distance of your, or 9 meter length of your beam. So please take a note of these things and accordingly you solve, you try number of problems, and you will get habitual to how to use and where to use, how much to use the equation. Okay. Similarly, I have solved for x equals to 4.5 meter distance. I have taken a y. I have restricted till the 4.5 meter distance equation, and I calculated y equals to. Just take your calci, put the values and solve it. You will get y is equals to negative. Now, why this value is negative? Because my slope is, or my deflection is in downward direction. It is representing that my deflection is in downward direction. Now maximum, yes, position of maximum deflection. How to calculate maximum deflection? See, you can by looking at the beam you can understand that where this beam will be showing will show us maximum deflection. See, if I take a simply supported beam, okay, if I take a simply supported beam, in that simply supported beam, if I observe that uniformly distributed load is nothing but the self weight of that beam, then it will bend at the center of it. It will bend at the center of it, right? It will show a maximum deflection at its center. Similarly, cantilever beam if I take, it will show maximum deflection at its free end because there is no support to resist the deflection, right? So maximum deflection will occur at the free end, That's why you just see where maximum deflection has a chances of occurring. So accordingly you can assume the distance. See now what is the procedure. I said maximum deflection occurs where slope is 0. Now one more condition which is helpful to see where the maximum deflection will occur, where slope will be 0. Where is slope 0 in our simply supported beam? At a mid span of your simply support you get a slope equals to 0. I have told you this earlier also. This is your beam. If it is deflecting like this, the tangent drawn to your elastic curve will represent the theta. The angle will represent the theta. See here, I have drawn a tangent over here. Angle between the original axis of your beam and a tangent will represent a slope. Okay, but if I reach to the mid span, the tangent will be horizontal and there is a no angle between because both lines are moving parallel to each other. Then there will be no theta, and if there is a no theta, what will be your slope? If theta is 0, slope will be theta will be 0 means slope will be 0, but deflection will be maximum. What they said, maximum deflection occurs where slope will be 0. Slope at a mid span is 0, therefore my deflection will be maximum at that point. Therefore, we can say or assume that maximum deflection occur at between B to C. B to C means what? See, this is your beam. You have a point load here and here. Also, you have a UDL acting upon it, right? So, B to C. A, B, C, D. That was a naming I have provided. And in between B to C, there will be a chances of occurring maximum deflection. I am not saying it will occur particularly at 4.5 meter distance or 6 meter distance or 3 meter distance. No, I don't know. I have to find it. How I will find it? By assuming that my slope will be 0 somewhere in between, and where my slope will be 0, there maximum deflection will occur. Therefore, what I am doing, see here, I am taking a slope equation. This is my slope equation, and I am assuming till a distance. See here, this is my slope. This is my beam. I have assumed UDL. There is a UDL and point load, and I have assumed in distance B to C. This was a 2 meter. This was 4 meters. So between B to C means what? From A support, if I calculate, it will be at 6 meter. Somewhere in the span of 1 to 6 meter. Most probably from 2 to 4 meter. From B to C, 2 to 4 meter onwards, there will be a high chances of maximum deflection. Okay, and high chances of slope will be 0. Okay. Now I am taking equation up to this point, up to this C point only. Okay, therefore this second load is neglected, I am talking, see here in the equation you have equation up to 210 kilonewton load. I have not taken for minus 125 into x minus 6. I have not taken an equation up to that point. Why? Because I am only interested in up to the BC, up to the C point. I hope you understood this. Put the and equate it to 0 because I want to see where my slope is 0. Therefore, I am equating slope equation equals to 0, and I am assuming in the B to C span my equation will show me will give me a distance, so that I will assume slope will be 0 at that point. So I got the distance 4.42 meter. I got the distance 4.4 meter. Now my total beam is of 9 meter, right? And I have assumed from B to C points I will get maximum deflection. I will get what? Maximum deflection, right? And that equation I wrote from 0 meter to 6 meter. I have used equation for the span of 1 meter to 6 meter, right? For this span, I have taken an equation, I equated it to 0. I have equated it to 0, right? Then I found a x distance equals to 4.5 meter, which is falling before 6 meter, which is falling in my range. And if it is falling in my range, what will be a assumption? My assumption is right. If it fall beyond, let's suppose it fall or it gives us a distance 6.2 meter, then my assumption is wrong. Why? Because whatever I have assumed that up to the 6 meter I will get slope equals to 0, that is not possible. That is wrong. But here my equation gave me a distance x equals to 4.42 meter, which is less than 6 meter, which is less than the region I have assumed. Therefore, I can accept this equation. Now, next task is very simple, calculating maximum deflection, where you will calculate at a distance x equals to 4.2 meter, because that is the point where slope is 0. That is the point where your slope value is 0. There you take again a maximum, you take the deflection equation, put the x equals to 4.2 in that equation, and then you used it up to the 4.2 meter distance only. Okay, do not go for the 125 into x minus 6. Why you should not take that? Because that falls beyond our range. We should not consider all the loads which fall beyond our range or beyond our considered span. Okay, calculate, use your calc and find y max. Y max is minus 5.826 mm. Okay, it is again a downward in direction, acting vertically downward. Okay, so here we ended with one more problem on slope deflection equation. We understood how to find slope deflection as well as how to find maximum deflection. Maximum deflection will occur where slope will be 0. This case is applicable only for simply supported beams. Okay, so we will end our session today here. See you in the next class.